Yo, 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 what up? It's your boy CL back for the first time like Luda. No, just playing. I guess I am technically back for the first time with the new name. As you can see up top, I have a name for the podcast now. It is no longer the podcast with no name. I had this name actually brewing for a while. I just wanted to make sure that, that the name was available, and just wanted to make sure I had all my logo and everything the way that I wanted to, get it done. And so I'm very, very proud of the results. I'm not like one of these tech guys or anything like that. I don't have the ability to do a lot of the stuff that some of these guys that kind of went to school for it does. But again, I'm very proud of how it turned out. I'm very proud of the name, and I'm honestly just looking forward to just growing the network, growing the podcast, just allowing you all the opportunity to see me, um, at pretty much the beginning stage, and as it kind of progresses through the next stage and so forth and so on. So I'm looking forward to you all growing with me. But as I said before on the first video, there's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some things that I am actually I actually welcome you all to challenge me about, and just kind of give me your advice and your opinion on things, because I really am new to doing this. And the only thing that I know, as far as you know what I wanted to do with this platform, is I know my sports, and I know that I know my music, and I know that I know fashion and things of that nature. But the behind the scenes stuff, I'm still learning. So please bear with me. And again, I just want to actually start off by thanking everybody that supported me on the first video, the first episode. I cannot thank you all enough. It was, to me, it was a resounding success. Just the level of support that I received from friends, from family, from strangers, from other podcasters. I want to give a big shout out to the Under the Influence podcast guys. They gave me some really good advice, and just everybody that really took the time to watch the video, even if you didn't watch the entire episode. That's okay, because I know everybody's got life, man. Things happen, things go on, and I know people don't necessarily have time to sit down and watch maybe like an hour long podcast or whatever the case may be. So I understand that. So, but for everybody that took any time out of their day to watch even just a little smidge of what I'm doing, I really appreciate it. And I really, really, truly appreciate all the advice. Again, I know I said that, but a lot of the comments had to do with kind of lighting and audio and setup and things like that. And again, I thank you guys so much, because again, this is not my background, man. I am a firefighter. um, I just I just like talking about these things. I like talking about sports and music and fashion and just life in general. So this, like I said, all the behind the scenes stuff is all new to me, and I'm gonna keep learning. I'm gonna keep growing, and I hope that you all just bear with me and grow with me. I really hope that you guys stick with me. So I promise you, things are going to progress and things are going to get better, because I'm definitely the kind of person that I'm a perfectionist, and I want to see things get better. And so I'm going to do everything I can to work on, the behind the scenes stuff, to put out a product as I really, really, truly believe is a quality product. So, anyways, I would be remiss if I did not start the show off by talking about, the LA wildfires, and just really wanting to throw my support behind the firefighters, the EMS workers, all the first responders, all the people that have supported them. And I'm talking about just, the restaurants that donated food, the grocery stores that donated food, people just donating countless hours to help out with everything that's going on out there. I myself, as I mentioned before, I am a firefighter, and believe it or not, when I was stationed in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I actually assisted the New Mexico Forestry Service multiple times with wildland fire services. So that I cannot I cannot tell you guys how tough of a job that is. I mean, it is extremely hard, long hours, not a lot of rest, I mean, the people that do that, they genuinely enjoy doing that, because I promise you that is one of the toughest jobs that I've ever had in my life. So again, I just want to I want to show my support and my love to all the people that are out there, working their tails off. It's not easy, but you guys are doing such a great job, and I really genuinely appreciate what you guys do. So thank you so much. Now, let's get right into it, man. Let's talk about this Super Bowl. This Super Bowl, it I'm not going to say it went exactly the way I expected. I mean, I did predict that the Eagles were going to win this game, but I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all, man. I definitely did not think that the Eagles were just going to just blow them out. I mean, they literally slapped them all around the field, man. Like it was crazy. It really was. Um, it was, the final score was 40-22, but that let's be honest, like it was not a 40-22 game. It really was not. Kansas City just got outplayed in every facet of the game. I mean, they truly did. They got outcoached. They got outplayed. Anything that you can think of, like the Eagles were just a better team. And a lot of things took place during the game that, I kind of thought was going to happen. Mainly, I knew that, the Eagles possessed the ability to be able to pressure Patrick Mahomes with just 4 down linemen. If you go back to the first video, that's what I said. As it was, I just knew that they had the type of talent up front that could really disrupt and make things really hard for Patrick Mahomes, and you saw that. This was the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay Buccaneers all over again for Patrick Mahomes. Like he genuinely felt uncomfortable from like the opening kickoff. He felt uncomfortable. And I'm pretty sure that was Vic Fangio's goal, was just to make him feel as uncomfortable as possible, with just the 4 down linemen throwing him different looks and showing different pressures and things like that. The craziest part about this game, in my opinion, was that they didn't blitz one time. The Philadelphia Eagles did not blitz one time this entire game. Like that is crazy. That is 1,000% the formula to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And I say that, and I say it like it's easy, but it's really not. Like for one, you have to have the personnel to be able to do that, which clearly the Eagles have. And on top of that, you have to have the defensive coordinator that has the mindset to throw all these different looks at Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest, for me. He's the greatest quarterback that I have ever seen with my own 2 eyes. Now he's got some competition out there. There's a lot of talented quarterbacks, but for my taste, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback that I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes, and that's hard for me to say because I'm a Tom Brady, I'm a Michigan Wolverines fan, and Tom Brady is the GOAT. But I'm just talking about from a pure like talent standpoint. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback that I have ever seen, talent wise. But to make Patrick Mahomes look as uncomfortable as he looked, and I mean, he was just doing things that were completely uncharacteristic of him. I mean, some of those interceptions, he had 2 interceptions, I believe. And I think both interceptions were really bad interceptions. Like he literally threw the ball right to the defender. And it wasn't like, something was tipped, like he threw a good throw and, it was tipped and, somebody ended up coming down with the ball. Like he threw bad. They were just bad interceptions. And, you can chalk that up to pressure. You can chalk that up to, just him not, seeing the field clearly, whatever case may be. But it just goes back to what I said on the first episode. Like the 4 down linemen from the Eagles, they're just really good. And then I said, the Chiefs have 3 Pro Bowl linemen, but I said that the 2 other guys, they were going to be a problem. They were going to struggle. And I said it was going to end up making it was going to end up being some game-changing plays. And as you saw on the one play, I mean, obviously he was sacked numerous. I think he was sacked like 8 or 9 times. And but he had the one strip sack fumble that, again, is one of those game-changing plays. So at the end of the day, like it was just not a good game for him. And he said as much after the game. He put it all on him. That's what I love about Patrick Mahomes, man. Like Patrick Mahomes, this is how you know he's a leader. He never ever puts it on anybody else to be better. He always takes accountability for himself, and he always puts it on himself to be better. And there were so many times, definitely over these last couple of seasons, even when they were on their championship runs, when it was clearly not Patrick Mahomes' fault. And I'm not even going to say like this game was largely his fault. It just the Eagles were just a better team. Like it is what it is. Sometimes the other team is just better, and that team was just a better team. But I love that about Patrick Mahomes. I love the fact that he always takes accountability, man, whether it's his fault or not. That is what you want in a leader, and that is why he is beloved in that locker room, because he truly, he embodies what you would want as a leader. So shout out to Patrick Mahomes. Shout out to, Andy Reid. Shout out to Chris Jones. Shout out to all those guys, man. Like you guys at least made it to the Super Bowl, and all the other teams that, had the opportunity to three-peat, they never even got that far. So, the fact that you guys even made it to the Super Bowl, I think is, you should be commended for that. I think it's great. And, it's no shade to you guys. The Eagles were just a better team, and that's just what it is. But let's get to the Eagles. Let's talk about the Super Bowl champion Eagles. I said last week that, I was kind of torn about if I wanted to see the Chiefs three-peat versus, seeing, the new blood Eagles, win the game. I knew the Eagles were going to win, but I was kind of torn as far as like, seeing history being made. But at the end of the day, man, I'm mostly happy for two guys. And the first one I'm going to start with, I think it's obvious, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was on a franchise that was just not a good franchise at the time. During his tenure there, they did not make very good decisions. Obviously, signing Daniel Jones to the extension and not signing Saquon for what he was worth, and he literally was everything for that team. I'm not going to beat a dead horse with that, but I just want to say for Saquon, man, I am truly, truly happy for you. You seem like a genuine guy. You seem like somebody that really, really embodies just the team aspect and just going all in for, the guys around you, and seem like a truly humble guy. And so I like when guys like that get that, that opportunity to taste success. I just think it's awesome. And, not that he needed like the ultimate, F you or whatever to the Giants, because I don't think Saquon's really built like that. I don't think that's really his mindset. But I know it had to have felt good to, to kind of prove the haters wrong. I myself, I'm going to tell you right now, and I promise you this is not like me making this up. There was never a time that I did not think that Saquon Barkley was the best running back in the league since he stepped in the league. I know everybody was like on the Christian McCaffrey thing, and I think Christian McCaffrey is a really, really good back. But I just always thought that Saquon did everything Christian McCaffrey did, and I just thought he was just better at it. He just had a string of bad luck with injuries. He had he was on a bad team, so he never really got a chance to showcase that. And I've just always been a Saquon fan. I really have. So I'm happy to see him get a Super Bowl ring. And the other guy is Jalen Hurts, man. I really cannot say enough about Jalen Hurts as a leader. He truly, like Patrick Mahomes, he truly embodies what it means to be a leader, man. He doesn't always necessarily do it with like gaudy stats or anything like that, but if you want a guy that's always going to be solid, a guy that's always going to lead by example, not necessarily a rah-rah guy or anything like that, just goes out there, puts in the work, and does the job and gets it done at a high level, especially when it's crunch time. Like, this is the guy for you, man. I really, really love everything about Jalen Hurts, man. I think he just has this calm demeanor. He seems like he never really lets anything get to him, even with like a lot of the A.J. Brown antics. And you can kind of see after Jalen Hurts missed him on that on the pass where A.J. would have scored a touchdown, obviously. But he came kind of to the sidelines, and I was like, oh my God, here we go again with the AJ antics. Um, a lot of people like try to, conflate that with like, oh, he just wants to win. He's just competitive. Man, anybody can be competitive and not like try to show up their coach on the sideline or try to show up their quarterback. Like I trust me, I'm as competitive as it gets, man. Like I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose at checkers. I don't want to lose at anything. So I get it, man. And when I played wide receiver, man, for a little bit, and just sports in general, like I always feel like I can win my matchup, whether it's playing basketball, whether it's playing football, whatever the case may be. But I'm never going to go to the sideline and try to show up my quarterback or show up my coach or whatever the case may be. That's just not how I'm. That's not how I'm wired. I think AJ Brown's a hell of a talent. I think he's a great player. I just wish that he found different ways to express his frustration, man, and go to the sidelines and I guess read the book, man. I guess he got his own book club now and stuff like that. Everybody kind of got some humor out of that. But that's really my only knock on AJ Brown, man. I think if he can just find different ways to to kind of express his frustration rather than showing them up, I think he's a phenomenal talent, man. I think he's one of those guys that's truly unguardable. But anyways, back to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, man, if you go all the way back to when he was at Alabama, and this showed me everything that I needed to know about Jalen Hurts back then when he got benched for Tua in that national championship game, and he was right there cheering Tua on. You know what I mean, rooting on the team. He didn't sit there with the stank face or like he genuinely wanted to see the team thrive, and he genuinely knew in that moment that Tua was the guy for that particular job. And if you go back and you look at it, man, like in that moment, it just let me know, like, this is the kind of guy, man, that you want leading your team. He then turns around, goes to Oklahoma, puts up ridiculous numbers. I mean, like video game numbers, en route to like a Heisman Finals resume. And, and if you've watched him, throughout, I think he's been in the league 5 years now, maybe. Throughout his tenure, man, he's consistently gotten better and better and better. And it just kind of brings me to my point, man. I have a question for everybody. So, get in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about this. The question is, do we think Jalen Hurts is elite? And for me, the answer is a resounding yes. And I'm going to tell you why. There's a lot of different ways that you can be elite. Like, you don't necessarily have to be one of these guys that puts up these ridiculous numbers. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there, and there's just a lot of players out there. They put up ridiculous numbers, but it doesn't ever amount to anything. This guy, in his time in the NFL, has been to the playoffs, I believe, every year, and has gotten essentially better every year. He's been in the Super Bowl twice, and not for his efforts. Like, they probably should have won that first Super Bowl because it was not his fault that they didn't win. I mean, he had like something like 375 passing yards and, like the rushing yards and everything. He had one turnover that obviously was costly, but he played a hell of a game. So, and then you fast forward to this game, again, has a ridiculously good game. The numbers might not necessarily be eye-popping, but he played this game as well as a quarterback can play a game, especially when you consider the fact that the entire game plan of the Kansas City Chiefs was to stop Saquon Barkley in the run game. When you go for 17 for 22 for 221 yards, and then on top of that, you rush for another 72 yards, and then a combined 3 touchdowns, yeah, that's what I call elite. So while he may not necessarily put up elite numbers, he is an elite winner, which I would take that over any other, type of elite that you want to throw out there. He's an elite winner, and he's elite when he needs to be elite in moments. So that is, to me, what makes him an elite quarterback. Now, obviously, like I said, get in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think, what y'all consider elite. I know that, like I said, there's guys out there putting up gaudy numbers and things like that. And that does not take anything away from those guys. Those guys are elite in their own way. But give me a Jalen Hurts, man. Give me a guy that is an elite winner and is elite in the moments where it counts. I mean, I cannot say enough about Jalen Hurts. I'm truly happy for him. It's always great when you see a guy that kind of faced the adversity that he faced to now reap the rewards of all of his hard work. So for Jalen Hurts, man, truly happy for you. Again, shout out, congrats to the Super Bowl champion Eagles. You guys were, I firmly believe that you guys were the best team in the NFL this year. And again, you guys know I'm a Lions fan. Even when we put up, a better regular season record, there was, for the last several weeks, I just really, really thought that the Eagles were a better team. And so shout out to you guys. On another note, I'm not going to get into this too heavily. But I gotta talk about my Lions just a little bit. I'm just gonna throw something out there. Brad Holmes, I hope you're watching. All y'all Lions fans, let's get this in the air. I know that there is a lot of talk about trading for Myles Garrett and just bolstering our defensive line. And while I think that Myles Garrett is an absolutely exceptional generational talent, I love Myles Garrett. I just don't want Myles Garrett at what it's going to cost us. And I'm going to circle back to. There's a lot of teams that are in the mix for Myles Garrett. If you just look at the the different conversations that are being had out there. And one of those is Myles Garrett going to the Eagles, which I would welcome. And I know you guys are saying, are you crazy? Have you not seen that defensive line already to add Myles Garrett to it? That, would just be ridiculous. I'm going to tell you why. And again, I'm not going to get too far into this because, when it gets closer to the NFL draft, I'm going to go in depth on, kind of what I hope to see my Lions do and things like that. But I'm just going to give you guys two names that I would like for the Lions to pursue. On top of just whatever other, transactions they make, whether it be the draft or free agency or whatever. But I apologize because last week I called Josh Sweat Montez Sweat. I truly apologize for that. I misspoke. But Josh Sweat from the Eagles, who had I think 2.5 sacks yesterday during the Super Bowl, he is an upcoming free agent. I would love to see my Lions go after him, and I would love to see them go after Khalil Mack. I think that when you get a healthy Aiden Hutchinson back, and you get a healthy Aleem McNeil back, and you get a healthy DJ Reader back, and then you add Josh Sweat and you add Khalil Mack, I feel like that for me is the recipe for my Lions to be successful. So that's like I said, I'm not gonna get too in depth with it, but for me, I just wanted to kind of get that take out, man, because I feel like Brad Holmes is an exceptional GM. I feel like he's already a top 3 GM. I think the two top GMs were the 2 GMs that were in the Super Bowl yesterday, and I'm not just saying that just because they were in the Super Bowl. If you kind of go back and look at their track record, Brett Veach and what's my guy from the Eagles having another brain fart, Howie Roseman, sorry. So if you go back and you look at the 2 of those guys' track record, man, they really make exceptional moves, whether it be free agency or I think more so in the draft. I just think that they really draft well. But they do make some, especially Brett Veach, they do make some trades now and then that are some really good trades. And so, but I think those 2 for now, I think they're ahead of Brad Holmes. But and not for anything Brad Holmes has done or not done. I just think they've been in the game longer and they have a more proven track record. So, but Brad Holmes, he makes really good decisions. So I'm counting on him to make some really good decisions. But I just want to put that in the air, man. So all y'all guys out there, Woodward Sports and all the, the Detroit area podcasts and things like that. Let's get that brewing, man, because I think that could be really good for the squad. Anyways, let's get on to the next topic. Let's talk about these regular season NFL awards.